Sweet, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to A Minute with Stoney
Howdy.
Stone, and it is Monday, and I'm Stoney Stone, your host, along with
Darren with Team Sift.
Team Sift. So, Easter, Easter weekend. It was 420 and it was Easter, so two great combinations, at least for me. And I
Very
stayed
busy
home. I didn't even
weekend.
fish on Sunday. Normally, Sunday is when I go fishing, and what I say is that's my religion. I go out, it's
Yep.
my way to connect with nature and God and what have you, and that's why we fish on Sundays. And this time I kind of had to regroup and stay home, and just the wife and I, the kids were out doing their own thing, and it was actually quiet, nice
Yeah.
Easter. What about you?
We did the family thing.
The family
Went over
thing?
to the wife's aunt's house and kicked some butt in a cornhole tournament and won some gift cards, and it was fun. Good
Very
time.
cool. I love playing cornhole.
Yeah.
We got one. Summertime.
Yep.
Summertime,
Definitely.
we'll be over here playing cornhole.
Perfect.
Tonight, we've got some special guests. I got Kevin Brock coming on tonight to talk about his guide service, what he's got going on with fishing stuff, and then I've also got Brandon and Jake from Tule Creek Outfitters. Make sure I say that right,
Tule
because
Creek.
I'm known to mispronounce that.
Yeah.
And
Not only
so
that one, but
lots of others. But we are going to get Brandon and Jake on to talk about what happened this weekend at Clear Lake with the bow fishing carp tournament. That sounded like a blast. I
Yep.
saw some photos and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And then we're going to jump into the Old Farts Fishing Report that we give you on Mondays. And here, it's real simple. Went on Friday to Knight's Landing and got skunked.
man,
We
That's
did
bad.
not. So I took my sister out fishing. She wanted to go fishing, so it was more of a family day. My nephew, my sister, my wife, we went out. So to me, I wasn't fishing.
Okay.
I was out there just. I mean,
Entertaining.
we wanted to. We were entertaining. I was hoping to catch some fish. Anthony jumped on his boat and came out because Anthony wanted to go fishing. I'm like, dude, I got my family, and so he came out and we fished the same areas, and he ended up catching a nice striper. And I couldn't even buy a bite. I don't know. It was so bad I couldn't even catch a cold.
Oh,
It
that's
was that
That's
bad.
bad.
So I have zero fishing report for this weekend, other than if
Yeah.
I go back to the beginning of the week when I went and filmed with Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, Calusa's on fire, and I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to let Kevin talk about what's going on there. But yeah, he's got it dialed in, and yeah, that's that. And what about you?
Just worked on the boat some more.
You've been slaving away on that boat.
Yeah, I've been slaving away. I'm still waiting on the oil to come in. I got the oil and the anodes are the last two things to do. Everything else is done. Impeller, the plugs, filters, even did the hard filter that's like back behind stuff that you didn't know was there that I'd never changed. But yeah, we're there. I can actually go fishing this next weekend.
Sweet, where are you going?
I'm not sure yet. I want to hear the
We're going to fish in the report, right? So as soon as we can migrate there. But here, you talk
Yeah.
about all the work you do on your boat, right?
Yeah.
Here's my work, right here. Hello, I need
Yeah.
to schedule a service appointment.
Yeah.
That's one thing when I buy a brand new boat, it's under warranty. So I've got a few
Yeah.
more years to be able to do that. But once I get outside of warranty, it doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
take it back there. But I might have really good friends that know how to work on boats. And I'll say, hey, you want to make some money?
Yep. Hey, I'm always down to make money.
Yeah, I am not a wrencher. I don't have any desire to. I've done it, been there, and I just don't want to do it. Just don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's rough because I don't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay out that high price to have a boat repair place do the work that I know I can do myself.
And I'm the
That's
opposite.
the biggest thing.
I just don't want to do it. And
Yeah.
so I'm willing to pay for it. And it's not that I'm rich. It's just I'm irresponsible.
Yeah.
I'm just irresponsible.
But yeah, so I got her running again. I had her on fired up today, and I can't wait to get out on the water again.
Well, I know where I'm not going.
Thanks, Landy.
I'm not going to Nice Landing.
What about Folsom Lake?
You know what? My feelings on Folsom right now. I don't. It starts with the F. I ain't gonna say it, but Folsom is just Folsom. No, I'm not gonna get married to the lake.
Yeah.
No, I'll stay on the river for now. Do some catfish and whatever. But yeah, we are not going to Nice Landing. We might try to go up to Calusa, and I'm gonna have to edge Kevin out of some of the spots.
Yeah, yeah.
But speaking of Kevin, I got Kevin Brock. I like to say the legend. He says he's very modest. But let's get Kevin Brock on. Kevin, are you unmuted? You ready to talk? He's sitting there
You
thinking.
might,
Nope, I gotta unmute you, Kevin. He's just smiling there. He's waving. Can you unmute? You gotta find the little button. He's giving me some sign language.
yeah.
He's fish on.
So back before cell
Whoa!
phones, and this is how long we'd always say, they're biting lures or they're biting eggs or they're biting the minnows. Those are all our little signs to the other guys when they would go by. But that's all gone now. But
Oh,
thank
wow.
you, first of all, for having me on your show, Tony. I appreciate it very much. Very humbling, and I appreciate to be here.
No, we're really happy to have you. Some people, there's a lot of people that are in the fishing world that know, that know Kevin Brock. As most of you guys know, I just got into the whole fishing thing during COVID, and it's only been 45 years now
Something like that.
that I've been fishing and meeting a lot of great people. And Kevin, you've been one of the great people out there that I heard about, and God provided the path. I don't know what it was, but somehow we connected, and I'm looking forward to what we got going on. A lot of people out there in the social media world see that you and I are working together on a lot of projects, and we're just building this whole thing. So let's talk about what you got going on. It's all about you, not me. Let's talk to Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's not all about me. It's about people helping you out, and that's the only reason I'm here is because people help me out. And so, yeah, I mean, okay, let's start from the top. If we're gonna do an intro, I've been guiding since '93, full time. That's all I've ever done. I'm sitting in the counselor's office at 17 years old, and the principal, and then my mom's crying, and I've told this story a lot of times. The counselor's there, and yada yada yada. We're having like an intervention, and they're like, Kevin, you gotta show up in school. And I go, I just want to hunt and fish. I mean, they're like, you're not a bad person. You're not causing problems. You're just never in school. You got to go to school. You're not going to make it. And I'm like, I just want to hunt and fish. And counselor's like, Kevin, one day, gave me the finger, one day, Kevin, one day you're going to have to grow up because you can't just hunt and fish forever. So I guess the day that I grow up is the day I'm going to go in the ground. 6 feet under is the day I'm going to grow up. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, no, I mean, I've been, like I said, I don't like to talk about me because there's been so many other people involved in my world, including God, that's gotten me this far. But it's been the help and the kindness of everybody else. No one would even know that we were striper fishing if you didn't do these videos and things like that. I don't have time to do them or the know-how how to do them. So, it's a thanks to everybody. It's a team effort. But yeah, enough about that. Let's just talk about what people want to hear. They want to talk about fishing. And we're not going to talk about night slanty because yeah, you got. I mean, some guys have caught some fish out there,
Oh, they have.
but you didn't. And so we're gonna move.
That's not a surprise, Kevin.
He never does.
No, we're gonna move right along. Yeah, that whole Calusa, all the way up to Princeton area. We're not going to get political about this, but Fish and Wildlife put in the baby salmon at the peak of the striper spawn, and it is like ringing the dinner bell, for fishing minnows or swim baits, or guys are using deep divers and A rigs and anything that you can throw that looks like a little minnow, you're catching a striper on right now. Literally, we've had days where we'd drop in, we'd have 4 or 5 on at a time. Yeah, a couple of mornings ago, it was just unreal. So, and it's not just me, it's not like, oh, I'm doing something special. Other guys are whacking them out there too. All the other guides are all catching fish. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's being respectful on the water and saying hi. And, it's just been really, really an enjoyable season. But if you want to catch stripers and you're in the local, hour and a half from that whole Feather River or from the Calusa area, go up there, launch your boat, go upriver until you see a couple boats, get in a back eddy, literally bounce the minnow around. And what I mean by bounce the minnow, put like an ounce of weight on, ounce and a half, and just bounce on the bottom, going around in 10, 12, 15 foot of water, and you will get a bite. You will get stripers, and if you're halfway savvy with the boat, then you can position it and get right on the freeway, and then you'll just whack away at them. So,
And that's the trick, Kevin, right? And we've talked about this in your podcast, and I know I've talked to a few other people. Is when we do these videos and we do these photos, people get concerned about blowing up spots, and it's like you've got to have some knowledge along with that, because I can go fish your exact spots that I've been with you on, and I will catch one or two fish where you're catching 30 fish. And it's that small little adjustment of knowing exactly where to be, exactly how to present that minnow. And that's the knowledge that a lot of people don't have.
Or popping the eye back in the right way.
Or popping the eye back in the
you
right
got to
way.
know how to pop the eye back in. I got a picture today of one with no eye. I couldn't pop it back in. I held it up, took a little picture. I'll send it to you later. I was like, no, this one's not going to be helped. No, can't help that one back out. But no, it's a little trick. It's funny how some people freak out about that one, and you can feel it snap back in there. Pop right back in the eye socket. But so I mean, fishing wise, I mean that's where we're concentrating. Obviously, we're guiding every day. The store in Chico, at the tackle box. Throw in my little plug there because my wife's been working there so much and doing such a great job, and we've had so much local support, and that's been a fantastic thing over there. Just amazing. Um, a
So if you
bunch of
haven't
guys.
followed them, right, go on Facebook, follow the Tackle Box Chico,
Hmm.
and give them a like, a follow. You'll see a lot of our content, on that page as well of Kevin and what's going on. And I'm gonna say it only because I know you're pretty modest about it. But Kevin's got the best products in there. He's also got the best prices that you will not find anywhere else. Is all I gotta say. You got to go in there and check it out.
So
Local, support local, support
yeah,
local.
it's all good. When I was growing up, I mean, I want to say we came from nothing. We were rich in other ways, but it wasn't financial. All right. And I mean, it was a grind. I mean, you saved every penny, and I mean, you wanted to buy hooks, but if there was Gamakatsu hooks on sale for 10% off, you bought those. You waited till they went on sale. You bought them in the bulk because, every penny counted. I mean, you really scraped to get where we're at now. And so I'm not making a huge margin on the stuff, but I'm giving it back. And we're doing sales where, we're just breaking even on the stuff. But you know what? It's getting people in, it's getting people out. And this morning I was on the boat and Roxanne, my wife, called. She calls in from the shop because if she doesn't know an answer, she calls me. And our deal is if she calls, then I pick up. If it's a text message, I can answer anytime. Anyway, so I pick up. There's a young man that wants to go to Orville. He wants to catch some bass at Orville. How does he rig this? How does he do that? He's been watching all these YouTube videos. Well, I got this pre-rigged stuff that's like $1. I'm not making anything on it. No one's making anything on it. But you know what? For $5, this kid can get 5 lures, $1 a piece, put them in his pocket, go down there to Limestone, because that's where he said he was going, my old stomping grounds, and cast off the bank where I used to walk down and fish, and he will catch some bass. And I gave him the 2 colors that he needed, and off he went. And that to me is I mean, we all got to pay our bills, but it's way more rewarding, and it was pretty cool.
Support local business,
Yeah,
support local business.
yeah, yeah.
There's
It is
movement
pretty
today, support local
it's pretty
business.
cool. So we
No,
limited out. We limited out today. I was fishing the guys from Chuck Patterson, Dodge over there out of Chico. Give them a little plug. Old Brad Marr, he's been there 23 years or something, and then or maybe even longer, selling cars over
so
there.
Brad, how does he spell his last name?
Marr,
Yeah.
Brad Marr, don't know.
Is it
MARR.
M?
I'd have to look at the logbook.
Oh, I was only saying because it's funny because people that know me on a personal level know that Stone isn't my last name. It's Meager, but a lot of people will pronounce it Mar, depending on where they are, what part of Irish or Ireland they're from.
They are also high.
But Mar or Meager. So when I hear Mar, I'm like, well, is it Meager or is it Mar? Anyway, or it could be Mir. I digress.
Mhm.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah. Oh no, don't be sorry. This is what we're doing. I never know because I can't tell. If I always feel like I gotta lean forward, like that, but then it feels awkward. I gotta be
Whatever you
more.
right there, you look good.
You were
I gotta be
doing
more
really
comfortable.
good about
Comfortable.
2 minutes ago.
So
Just a,
so we
Feel
limited it
relaxed.
out by like 7:15 this morning. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now what do we do? Let's hang out and fish for some catfish or a bass. Oh, we caught a nice spotted bass the other day, and I caught a shad yesterday on a minnow. So we
Nice.
kept fishing. We happened to have some other bites, and we caught 30 or 40 fish all total. Decided to head on in. Other boats were going in, so we head on in and clean the fish, and everybody was happy. Flayed them. They got their nice bag of fish, everything, and then we've been selling so many swim baits at the store that I had to go home and pour swim baits. So I get home, Roxanne's at the store, and I'm pouring swim baits, and I got it all going, and I got my mask on, and yada yada yada. I poured almost maybe 1,000 swim baits this afternoon in about 5 hours. And then Roxanne calls, and there was a bunch of guides that ran out of minnows. There was 4 of them, and they're not going to get their next shipment for like 2 more days. So they all went from Calusa. They drove over to Chico. Roxanne waited for them at the store about an extra 45 minutes, and they got 50 dozen minnows, 50 dozen. And we gave
Wow.
them it to them like at our cost because we know that they got to pay for fuel. So anyway, bottom line is we're just trying to give back and do the best we can do. But it's been a day.
And that's awesome. And I know I wanted to do some question and answers, see if anybody have any questions but I also know that you're tired, you're going. I know I'm going to be with you tomorrow bright and early. I think I'm going to leave at my house at 4 o'clock to go meet up with you. We're going to have a day of fishing and filming, right?
but
Yeah.
I got one question.
What's your one
Do
question?
you have an online store or anything like that? Because it's kind of far for me to go to Chico to buy some baits.
You
You have
bet.
an
You bet.
store?
It's way too far for a lot of people to go. And we do have our online store, and we totally honor our daily specials on the
Okay.
online store. If you say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I heard you're having a buy one, get one free. If you mention it, then then we honor that, online.
Perfect.
But yeah, we got an online store.
Good to
And we
know.
sell to Washington, Alaska, all over. Our online store is blowing up. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Good.
so it's
Cool.
super cool.
So Kevin, if I want to
And every week we're adding more things to it as we
Nice.
go.
awesome. If I want to get a hold of you to book a trip, which I know you're probably already booked up, but in an event you have a cancellation or something, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I always feel weird about doing this, but I'm going to give my cell phone over because we can text, and I can respond to a text so fast, when I'm netting a fish or whatever, and still take care of my clients instead of have a long conversation. So it's 530 570 8057.
Perfect.
Yeah. And that's my cell. And if you want to write that down on your book, you can there in your notes. That way you can
Oh yeah.
underline it for the next time. There you go.
There you go.
530 570 8057.
Perfect.
And that way, at the end, when you say you can get a hold of Kevin on your recap, you can put my number in again. I just didn't want you to forget it.
No,
He would have.
I would have. Anyway, Kevin, I appreciate
Oh,
you coming on. I'm going to let you go. I got to see you bright and early tomorrow morning. I appreciate you coming on to, the A Minute with Stony Stone podcast where we talk fishing. So thank you very much. And you're more than welcome to hang on, but I think you're tired.
thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. I am tired, but we're here for you, and we'll keep pushing, and we're here for everyone. Feel free to call for information, to book a trip, where I'm fishing, anything at all. So, and I always love positive feedback. Constructive criticism is great, but positive feedback's always fantastic too.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much. And we'll have you on again at another time. But don't forget, Kevin has his own podcast that I host on Thursday nights, Real Talk with Kevin Brock at 7 o'clock. Go to his page. You'll see all that information. It'll actually be on the end of this podcast as well. You can just scan the QR code to get you right in to the podcast. So join us Thursday as we talk more with Kevin. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me. God bless, and thanks for all that you do for everyone.
Very cool. Thanks. All right. The man, the myth, the legend, Kevin
Yes.
Brock. But
I'm gonna have to check out that online store now.
it is. I mean, I'm working with them a little bit on their store to get. I'm all about promo codes. I'm working with them to get a Stony Stone promo code where you put that in and you'll get something. I don't know what it is. But you'll
Okay.
get something. You
Shoot
might
kick
get
in the butt.
might get a kick in the butt. You might get something for free or a buy one get one free. Who knows? We'll
Okay.
work that out. But it's a good way to promote. And I've got a few other ideas I'm working with Kevin on.
Yep.
So we got our second guest tonight because I was just like, let's do
What?
2 guests.
Oh man,
I know we're
getting
cooking,
crazy.
getting crazy on Monday. So this
look at
weekend
this.
they had another catfish tournament, or not a catfish. They had a carp tournament, a
Oh,
bow fishing tournament. So I want to introduce. Here we go. I got my notes. I know it's Jake and Brandon,
Yep.
the boy,
The boy.
with Tule Creek Outfitters. I finally got it right without
Yes.
screwing it up. Tule Creek Outfitters. They're on next to talk about how that thing went. So who's on? Is it Brandon or Jake? Who's on? They're probably muted. Nope. People just
They're
staring.
probably fighting a fish or something.
Yeah.
Looks like they're on the lake right now to me.
Oh yeah, Brandon's probably out there fishing right now.
I can't blame them.
These guys muted or what?
They're unmuted, no audio though.
No audio. You guys got to connect your audio. He's all waving his hands. I
Can
need
you
some
hear me?
audio. There you go.
There we go.
It's not working through my headphones. What's going on,
Yeah, I was
guys?
gonna say, can you guys hear me?
There
Now
you
we-
are, Jake.
So
Okay,
who
so
do
it's the headphone thing.
Yeah. So who's that?
Oh, we lost him again.
I'm Jake.
All right, Jay. What's up, buddy? Brandon said to bring you on, and which one of you guys
Jake's
gonna
the
talk
owner of
about?
Tule Creek Hunting Outfitters.
Okay.
Me
Cool,
and my
cool.
buddy Jake and Tyler are the 2 owners. And I'm just one of the guys that just do the labor. So I figured, you know what I mean? Instead of hearing it from me, let's hear it from the man himself.
Good
You
call.
know, I'm
Good-
out here on Blue Lakes right now. As you see, we're doing all right. You know,
All right.
Beautiful.
we're catching some fish and we're hanging out.
What are you
You
fishing
know,
for
and
today?
we're fishing for rainbows.
Rainbows.
We're out here trolling around and we're over here on
Eric
Blue
likes
Lake.
rainbows.
I think they're fishing in the wrong area though. If they're fishing for rainbows.
You know,
Eric
yeah,
likes
we're doing
rainbows.
all right.
That's why we put Eric behind the scenes because he likes rainbows. I was busting his balls.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, the rainbows are awesome. Fuck you.
yeah, whatever. So, tell us about the tournament that happened this weekend. There was a big old carp tournament. I saw some really cool pictures and a shitload of fish.
A lot of fish.
Like that on the
Yeah, absolutely. It was totally a good turnout. You know, I'll let Jake take over on that and kind of tell you guys about everything and, you know, and thank all our sponsors and stuff. And I'm going to sit here and listen for a while.
All right, buddy.
Sounds
Jake,
good.
what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great, great. So, tell us about your company. Tell us about this bow fishing thing, and then anything else you want to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start out. So we're kind of a full service outfitter. We do everything from bow fishing on Clear Lake and cat fishing on Clear Lake to we do turkey hunts. We do waterfowl hunts up in the northeastern zone around Modoc. We have a log cabin that holds 8 guests on about 800 acres. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything. But this weekend we hosted our first ever bow fishing tournament on Clear Lake. There's another tournament, Water Pigs. They've been going on for about 20 years now. So we're the new guys on the block this year.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I like new guys.
Yeah,
Looks like you
yeah,
guys did
but
great,
it
Mark.
wasn't too bad. So last year we kept track of the amount of fish we were pulling out of the lake, with clients and on just friend trips or just guide trips going out looking for fish. And in April we pulled roughly 4,000 pounds of fish out of the lake, mainly only shooting on weekends. And so we kept records the rest of the year, and our numbers went up as the spawn increased, but our weights kind of dwindled because the fish were spawning out. They were getting soft because of the warmer water. They're more active, so they're burning more calories. So right now the water temperature is colder, so they're kind of like a snake. They act according to the environment around them. So with the cold water, they're a little bit more sluggish, a little bit easier shooting, um, and they got a little bit more weight on them because they're bulking up, getting ready to do that big spawn.
Nice.
Okay.
And you guys do that. Well, I understand it's a kill tournament, and you're basically trying to weed out a bunch of the carpet Clear Lake, right?
Yes, sir. So they're estimating that there's about 1 million pounds of carp in Clear Lake, which is twice the amount of crappie and bass combined.
What
Wow.
about catfish?
I didn't get that statistic from the environmentalist.
Nobody cares about the
So,
catfish.
how many pounds did you guys pull out this weekend with the tournament?
We had 13 teams show up. All 13 or 14 teams weighed in. They shot 393 fish for just about 4,700 pounds.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very,
with our
459
big,
fish.
yeah, biggest fish was 41.1 pounds.
wow.
41 pounds. I think we should start
That's a
carp
huge
fishing instead
carp.
of catfish. Do they? I'm sure they
Yeah,
fight like crazy.
yeah. No, it was a really good turnout. We had most teams were full boats of groups of three. Our winning team was a group of two, so that was pretty cool.
So
And
I got a chance.
they won most weight, and I'm pretty sure the team that won most weight also won biggest fish, so they took home a double payday.
Nice. So I got a chance to watch some of the live um, feeds on Facebook with Richard and Matt from Snag 'em and Bag 'em, and yeah, it looks like you guys had a really good time. I heard there was one little mishap with one of the guys kind of went swimming or something.
Yeah, so actually the guy that shot the biggest fish, the 41 pounder, he shot that fish first thing after blast off. That was one of their first fish. And so he was chasing another fish down or doing something and his trolling motor locked up on him and he ran into a log, and because we shoot off of elevated platforms, it's a little bit more wobbly. And yeah, he took a head dive into the lake and then had to go back in to get the bow that he took into the lake with him when he fell.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Yeah. But when he came back to change, he's like, yeah, we think we got about a 35 pounder. So we're like, oh, about 35 pounds. It ended up being 6 pounds heavier than that.
Nice. Very
Wow.
nice.
Hey, it's a small price to pay to get that big fish, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I
Big fish paid like almost $700.
nice.
Wow.
I have a feeling you guys that tournament's going to grow. You guys gave out a lot of prizes and raffled a lot of stuff off from what I saw. What was all that about?
Yeah, so we actually had some of our guide service sponsors like Matt from Snag 'em and Bag 'em. He donated a catfishing bundle and some rags. That was very generous. And then Richard made a donation so we could buy cool prizes. So we got with his donation a bow fishing bow, some bow fishing reels, and then we had the bow fishing shop sponsor it. They donated headlamps, some laser sights that actually help refract the water. So you
Okay.
takes a little bit of the guesswork out of shooting the fish down low.
That's what I would have to
Uh, yeah, some new line for reels. Yeah, we had a good giveaway. And then Pilot Outdoors, which is the guide services sponsor, also donated one of their latest models of their newest coolers. So we actually gave away a $600 cooler as well.
Wow. Very nice.
And I heard
Yeah.
somebody made some pretty cool awards for you too.
Yeah. Our all of our placards were we got so many compliments on how cool they were and creative, and everybody's like, "Well, you guys have these this year. Like, what are you going to come up with next year? You know, these we haven't seen something that lights up and has these nice stands. It was pretty cool. So
Yeah,
Well,
Darren, you and
everybody
Tamara
does.
absolutely killed it. Everybody was so happy with those awards.
I got to give all the accolades to my wife. She's the one that worked her butt off on those. She was out there working on those, and she was excited to do it for you guys.
So many compliments. Thank you guys so much for the donation. We really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah.
Everybody else appreciated it as well.
Very cool. And then one name I heard on there was, Richard Moutry,
Yep.
another
Richard.
sponsor. Richard is getting his hands involved in everything. I think he is the new mayor of Clear Lake.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would have to say governor.
Governor, that's right.
Governor.
Governor.
Yeah, because you say mayor, it doesn't have quite the
Governor.
pull.
I like the governor. No, Richard's been great
He's doing a lot.
for fishing community, whether it's catfishing, the carp thing. He's got his own thing going, and I was looking for the name. Remember last podcast? I'm like, Richard, you should just change the name. Get rid of Kings of Clear Lake, change it. And then it was like 2 days later, I'm changing the name.
Channel cat. something like-
Channel Cat Classic or something.
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? Richard just showed up.
Oh shit! Richard just showed up.
His ears were burning.
Perfect timing, Richard. But I just had to kind of laugh a little bit because I'm like, huh. I was kind of thinking he should change it, and he did. And there's a lot of backstory to that, and that's cool. But Richard, I'm glad you made the change. We're so happy to have you involved in so many different aspects of the fishing community, and so that's where we are.
Yep. Another great tournament to look forward to.
Yeah, so our single highest boat weight was 701 pounds brought in by one boat.
701 pounds.
Yeah, they
Man.
weighed in twice. They had to come and offload once early in the morning because they were so weighed down. It was slowing their boat down too much.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the second boat was a Clear Lake native, David Rank, and he brought in 648 pounds. And that was in one boat trip. That was in one run. And he actually had one of the smaller boats in the fleet, so that was pretty impressive.
Nice.
That is
Nice.
crazy.
So are
But
you
yeah,
guys in the shallow waters, or are you getting them out in the deeper water? How are you guys getting them?
So we troll. Actually, the boat that brought in the most amount of fish had one of those surface drive, the mud motors on it. So it had the advantage that it could get up in like the 2, 3 feet of water and really
Wow.
chase those fish in the shallows. Because the shallower they are, the easier it is to hit them.
Okay.
But we try to shoot them in about we our typical troll depth is about 6 to 10 feet. We like to try to get into 4 feet, but we're shooting the fish at anywhere from surface level to about 3.5, 4 feet deep.
Okay. Okay.
And can you do this all year round, or is there like a season?
No, you can definitely bow fish year round, but the reason it's more popular end of April through about the beginning of August is because that's the when the water temperatures are starting to warm up and the fish are going into spawn and they spawn in the shallower waters. Because, like I
And
said earlier, they are habits of their environment. So during wintertime, when the water temperature up on the surface level is constantly changing between rains and all that stuff, they go to the deeper water where a lot of times it's actually warmer than the surface and it's consistent.
Yep.
they're just like
So they're
kids.
just not as abundant.
You get the summertime, you want to spawn. It's all some hot
Yeah.
and warm, and
Yeah,
But it's
that's
funny,
Yeah,
funny,
yeah,
huh?
exactly. You take your shirt off, go splash
but
around.
but it's funny is the carp, right? They're spawning. You got the catfish that are spawning. You got the
Mhm.
bass that are spawning. And there's lots
Exactly.
of political reasons of when you don't want to fish because you don't, you want to conserve the. But this, you're not conserving. You want to kill those things.
Yeah.
We want to
Yeah.
get rid of them.
Which brings me to my next question, though. What the heck do you do with all that fish when you're done?
So during just the
Tacos, tacos.
no. One of our cooler sponsor, Pilot Outdoors, the owner's wife, her is Japanese, and so they actually took a couple of the smaller fish home. And last year, when they came out on a couple trips, they took a couple of the smaller fish home and had them for dinner and sent us pictures, and it looked really good. But I could still tell it was carp, so I don't know if I could eat it. And it's just the whole mental aspect of it.
You still smell it through the picture?
No.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, at least I smell what my boat smells like when I gotta clean it.
My wife is half Japanese, and there will be no carp in this house. I'm telling you that right now. There's no carp. There's barely striper in this house. She don't like fish.
Uh,
Asian woman I know who doesn't like fish. It's crazy.
Yeah, so the fish. For during the call it the bow fishing season, about this time of year through August, Big Valley is actually kind enough to have spots around the lake where they have land that they allow us to dump our carp, which is very generous. But as far as like this tournament goes, the some of the fish went to Big Valley. They were picked up and taken to their community in their elder gardens, and then the rest of them went to a vegetable farm over in Covelo to be used as fertilizer.
Okay. Okay. So they're not totally going to waste.
No, they're being recycled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recycle them.
Well, very cool. So if I wanted to book a trip with you guys or get in touch with you to do some hunting, some fishing, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
You could reach out to us through either our Instagram or Facebook page, which is just Tule Creek Hunting Outfitters. You can go to the website, which is TuleCreekHuntingOutfitters.com, or you can call me at 707-695-7918, or you can reach out to Brandon, who is 707-533-9269.
Very cool. I know my buddy Anthony and I that fish a lot together will definitely be calling you for one of these carp trips.
Yeah, me and the wife will be heading up that way too sometime.
Maybe the four of us can go get on. We can take 4 people, right?
Yeah, we take up to 5 clients at a time.
There you go.
And
4
our
and a cameraman.
bows,
I got 4 and a cameraman. There we go.
perfect. Yeah, and our bows go they break down so small that my 8-year-old nephew can shoot them, and they go up in draw length and poundage that my friend that's about 6'4" and 250, 260, he shoots the same bow as my nephew.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
then
So
Eric,
our bows are very user friendly.
Yep, very nice.
very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun, and we'll get some
Yes,
great.
it'll be good to meet you guys as well.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on to A Minute with Stony Stone. Every Monday at 7 o'clock, we have a little podcast and bring on guests in the local community of fishing. And if you want to get on the show, definitely hit us up, and we'll get you scheduled. I do have a long schedule. I'll go over at the end of the show and kind of tell you who's up next. And Jake, appreciate you calling in.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Richard on the line.
Oh,
Thanks,
Richard.
Stoney.
Thank you. Richard, what's up, buddy? You got online?
Real quick, Stoney, real quick. I just want to
Yes,
give
sir.
a shout out to all our sponsors, you know what I mean, that made this happen, and all our contestants. You know, Snag 'em, Bag 'em, Custom Baits. You know, we're actually Tule Creek getting ready to pair up on
Fucking
some.
snag and bag him. Snag and bag him. When you see a cameraman on the lake, come up and talk to that cameraman. Cameraman wants to speak to Snag and bag him.
Yeah, Tule Creek
I
and Snag
don't
'em, Bag 'em
know
are
what
getting
the
ready.
cameraman wants from me, but no, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, you're going to get the things, buddy. Come on,
Anyway.
Snag and bag him.
Anyways, as I
Anyway.
was saying, we're getting ready to get in some new endeavors with Snag 'em and Bag 'em. We're going to be dropping some new things coming this year. Ain't nobody going to see it coming. It's going to be good. I want to say thank you to Richard Mutry with Permanent Development Consultants, you know, Mission Rancheria, the Clear Lake State Parks, Turf Talk Kitchen, Mama D's, Kevin Williamson and his wife Rebecca, Jacobus and Christine. You know, they hooked us up with a sound system and a pop-up and stuff. Wicked Sounds for the banners, S&B Marine for their donation and their banners, the bow fishing shop with Tim Christensen and all those guys. You know, without them and all you guys as being contestants, there's no way this would have even been anything. So I just
Awesome.
want to give a big shout out to the people that made this happen, because it wasn't just me and Jake. It was
No, good
definitely
job.
a tribe.
And it's a lot of great names I hear in there, and a lot of people supporting the fishing community. So,
Yeah.
help to you guys, and thank you very much. Well, perfect. Anything else before we move on? Nope, going once. Eric Scott, what do
Are
you
we
got?
moving on to Richard?
I want to talk to Richard.
Yeah.
Richard, you're on, right?
Hey, what's going on? How you guys
What's
doing?
up?
Good. How you doing, Richard?
So we changed the name now. We're what? Catfish Classic. What is it?
Channel Cat Classic.
Channel
Okay.
Cat Classic.
Like
It's got
it.
a nice ring to it. And
Yeah.
So, what's on your mind today, Richard? I told you before, anytime you need time, just let us know, and here you are. Just
It's gonna be the
Oh,
triple.
I was trying to be. I said I was going to come on early, and I got tangled up, and I'm glad I was able to get on, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to let me get in here. Yeah, the bow fishing, man, that was great. If you guys are doing the bow, I'm getting the bow next week. I'm getting one. I'm so intrigued, and it was so. I wanted to get out on one of the boats with the guys, but I know they were crowded. It was fast paced, and I didn't want to get in anybody's way. So in order to experience it, I got to get out there by myself. So uh, very interesting. I was very very impressed, especially with the contestants. Man, those guys are so humble and just so badass, man. I mean, they were up all
what? They're
night.
not. They're not cat fishermen.
No, no, them dudes, man. That's a whole different breed, but there's some really really cool guys, and they all stuck around and were very patient and just the fishing community, whether it's bow or whatever, it's just a different set of guys. So yeah, in that regard, yeah, I had some fun, but on the other side, so I know my wife is in here, and I got it. It was her idea to do that. So and I never want to make this about the individual. This has always been about the tournament and the event. I tried to leave the people out of it, and and I was very resistant. I'm extremely stubborn, and I wanted to finish what I started. And I started with that particular that particular tournament, and I wanted to make it successful. It was never about me. Um, so she just said, "Hey, you got to make a break. You got the knowledge, you've got the experience, you've got the thoughts and ideas." And she said that thing is going to follow you around in a negative way uh, forever if you continue that route. And I fought it. I held my breath. And she left the house. She said, "Do what you want to do." I'm just saying. And she came back, and had a new logo, had a new attitude, and a new
Famous.
place.
Do what you want to do.
And,
Famous thing from the wife.
and,
Uh
In
yeah.
other words, you gotta
So
do what she
shout out
says.
to shout out to Rhonda. She pushed the right button, and as you guys can see, and I just want to say this, and I don't want to dig into it too much, but um, the stealing part kind of, and I'm a tough skin guy, but that kind of hurt my feelings. Because I don't ever need to steal anything. I have everything I need. And I never needed to steal anything. I did. As you can see, I just pressed the plan B button and moved on.
Yeah.
And I
And
continue to move on in that direction. It's that part of this whole thing is done. There's been some backdoor conversations about people who really don't know what's going on and really just want to throw the pity party, and I'm not about that, because this could go a whole different way. I could really be Mr. Petty, and I'm not. I just want to move on the other way, and for those people who have that steal mentality, I don't I don't need to steal anything.
no, but I feel like there's a story here because I got this other thing going on called Catfish Wars, and this
Yeah,
whole scenario just plays into it so nicely. And I'm not saying it's just there's a lot of history, there's a lot of he said, she said, and it's more of, there's you're right. A lot of people don't know the story. They know what they see on Facebook. They don't know what's
right.
really transpired. And there's again, he said, she said, they said. And it may be worthy at some point to say, you know what, let's just bring it to a minute with Stony Stone. We'll bring on the parties and let's just hash it out and let's get down to the nitty gritty and the truth.
Hey, you know what? You know what? And this is what I said this on. I mentioned this to somebody. If all the parties involved want to tell the truth, I mean, want to just get naked and not literally, but get naked and tell the whole truth, then I don't have a problem with that. I stand my head high all the way through. I do. I don't have a problem with that. But a lot of people won't do that. And once again, everybody, we're grown men, and nobody wants to be, kikiing and all that behind somebody's back or whatever. And it happens. But if we want to get down and dirty with it, we can. I don't want to, but
And we just clear the air, and what better place to do it with Old Farts Fishing and a minute with Stony Stone? And it's not meant to take sides. It's meant let's just get it out.
And then afterwards, we can make a country song out of it.
We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. If you think that there's something out there, there's some he says, she said, there's a side conversation, or there's some information that you need clarification on, ask the question and I'll answer it truthfully.
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, shit. Let's just do it now. I got some other things, but this just took a turn. So.
Well, on a lighter note, real quick, Richard. When is pre-registration for this tournament?
Pre-registration will happen the day I secure the permits.
Okay. And is it going to be a 2-day tournament or 1 day?
It will be a 2-day tournament.
Perfect.
2-day. And yeah, so we're excited to be part of that. But yeah, we can't wait for registration, and permits are going to be pulling. Is there anybody online that has any questions right now, just off the cuff, couple minutes, couple questions that they want to ask, or anything they want to know? Because right now is the time to ask, at least one-sided.
So far, we only got ratings will skyrocket.
Huh?
I don't know what ratings, but our ratings are going to skyrocket.
They might. They might. But anybody got any questions for Richard since he's on?
Yeah, I don't have anything to hide. I'm not out here. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. It's really not that big of a deal for me. I want to put on a tournament. I wanted it to be that one because that's where we started. But it didn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. I just don't. I don't want all the drama and the negativity, and the pouting and the whining to be associated with something that I'm trying to do. Yeah, and I'm listening to the guys. We just want to fish. We just want to fish. If they want to put on that tournament, go right ahead. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
If that was a consensus, if Mr. Wynn and his fan club want to put on a tournament, you guys go right ahead. Good luck. I wish you well, because that's giving people an opportunity to fish. That's just what it's about.
Do you know what drives ratings is when you had like Jay Paul and Mike Tyson? Right, we could have the Wind crew and the other crew, and we'll just hash it out. I'm just saying, we can be the mediator, the moderator.
Do you remember how that fight ended?
It was a joke. I don't know.
The back and forth really it's not. There's no punchline. There's no aha moment here. There's nothing that's you're there's this whole build up, but there's nothing really back there, because quite honestly, everybody, or most of the people, know why we're even here. There is this common knowledge, and if you don't know, you just ask somebody on why we're even here with this issue.
And I think that, again, I'll reach out to the other parties and see if they would be interested in have a little forum or a little dialogue just to clear the air. And I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be, but I'll ask the question and we'll see where it goes.
That's all you can do is ask.
And so watch for that to come out at some point or not. It'll, like Darren says, either happen
or it won't.
Or it won't. So, good stuff, Richard. I don't want to cut you off too much. We're getting to the top of the hour. I got a couple other things I need to go over, but any last comments that you want to say before I mute you?
No, hey, what I do want to say is, and once again, Stoney, this platform that you've created is an absolute must for what you're doing with Catfish Wars and giving a voice to some of the guys that are around with Kevin Brock and Snag him and me and even your own following there. I appreciate the fact that you're doing this and being consistent with it and giving the guys out there a voice. So kudos to you. And I'll definitely be on as much as you can tolerate me because I got a bunch of stuff, let me tell you.
I bet you do. And we love having you on, and we definitely support. We love the support we get from everybody.
Yep.
And I think we finally found our rhythm a little bit. You know, we've been struggling a little bit with different podcasts, different things, different formats.
Yeah, once you got rid of Eric.
Once I put Eric behind the scenes, we're starting to get some traction. So, Eric, I appreciate you, all you do. We just don't want to see your face. That's all right. So, Catfish Wars trailer, little teaser went out on
420
at 420, and
yeah, 420.
And I'm looking for some feedback from people.
Yeah,
What'd you think? Actually, Richard, I want to know, what'd you think? Did you watch it? Is he muted or?
Yeah, I did. There was something missing.
What was that? Tell me what was missing.
Me, damn it, me.
Okay, so good.
There was Stoney missing too.
There was nothing of that either.
You know, I pressed that button. I was like this.
Okay. So imagine what I felt when I saw it and went, it was nothing to me. There's like 2 seconds of me holding a microphone, and I'm like, this is supposed to be Old Farts Fishing. I turned this over to my guy that works for me, and he cut me completely out.
But damn, that bald-headed white guy.
Dude, he looked good.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw myself a couple of times right at some of the weigh-ins, but I'm like, okay, all right. Okay. I can't watch it. Maybe at this. No, there's my boat. No, it's not my boat. What? No, it's not me either. Okay, and then it was over. I'm like, okay.
I always got like episode 1 footage and maybe half of episode 2, but you're episode 3. You're like deep in the story.
At least I know there's a chance. I have a chance.
So,
I'm good. Eric, I'm more than playing with you because the quality was excellent. The quality was really good.
Stoney was not in it. I knew Stoney was not in it at all.
I went, what the hell just happened?
No, but Richard, for you specifically, I was like, I wanted to add you, but then I was like, that's getting too deep in the season. I can't go too deep in the season. You have to. I'm just at the build-up right now. The build-up is only supposed to be like episode 1.
No, I trust your vision. I trust your vision. This is what happens when you got to trust somebody's vision and just let them do, Stoney. You just gotta don't take it from them. Don't take it from him. Don't. That's what you don't want to do. Just let it.
Your time's coming. I clipped you. I've seen your clips. Your clips are coming. It's not this trailer, but I got those clips already set out for Team Pandemic.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and I thought maybe because we didn't catch any fish while he was on our boat, that was another reason why. So I'm like, okay, I get it. So yeah, that was good. It was good.
This project is I look at it, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? We're gathering content. The trailer was just a tease to say, here's what we got going on. There wasn't a lot of context as far as teams and what have you, and it was just more a, hey, here's what's going on, it's coming. We're still on the fence. You know, we've kicked around, Eric and I kicked around a few ideas on, is this going to be a series where we're doing kind of like if you say Street Outlaws, Deadliest Catch, is it a series, or is it truly a movie where we're just doing, and it's the whole thing put into, an hour and a half, hour and 40-minute movie. So we're still gathering footage. We're kicking some ideas around. We give you a little taste of what's coming. There'll be a few more little short clips that are going to be released with a little bit more content, a little bit more build up. But I feel good. I feel like, this has some legs to it. I definitely feel like there's a storyline here between what's going on with the Catfish Bash and now that Richard's got, the Channel Cat
Classic. Yep.
Classic,
The Triple C.
the Triple C. But so there's a few things going on, right? And so I think there's a lot of the side stories. Again, this whole premise is about Old Farts Fishing and our vision through this. But you're going to see it's going to take a few different directions, and I'm looking forward to see what Eric continues to do with it. So I want to just give a big thanks to Eric. I've been keeping him busy on a lot of different stuff on my photography business and trying to, push him in a lot of different directions and really put some pressure to get this thing out. So it's out. And now I'm saying, all right, when's the next version coming out? We got to get that
It's
going.
no joke trying to get these little videos together.
I've been helping you, right?
You've been helping me, and I still haven't got my boat maintenance one together. I still got probably another 3 hours of sitting there in front of the computer to figure it out.
And Richard's one that knows there's a lot of time that goes into editing these videos.
Yeah. I got 2 videos I'm still got to edit to put out. And I'm
Yeah, and I just put out my striper video from the Calusa NorCal guides. I posted that today, and it was kind of disappointing. But again, we got to step our game up. I don't know what we're in the slump right now, and hopefully that'll turn around. Hopefully before Catfish gets too crazy.
There's another thing too that you and I've been kind of talking about that finally came in for me. Was I finally got my guide license in?
Yes. Yep.
So that's a little new adventure for me.
Yep.
I'm not trying to make a living at it or steal anybody's business or anything, but it'd be nice to make enough to make my boat payment.
Well, like I've always said, anybody can write a check and be a guide.
Yep.
It doesn't mean you're good. It just means you got
Well,
to
you
get
don't
license.
even need to write a check now. I just sent my ATM card information.
I just send it to you. You just buy your guide license. Well, there's more to it. But so Catfish Wars came out. Anybody else had any comments that's online? I've been jabbering. I haven't even gone to comments. Somebody else?
The only thing is Ben Harper said I did a good job too.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. No, he did. Eric did an amazing job.
I do all the good jobs.
In spite of not having me in it, he did a great job.
Well, that took how many months?
Hey, we're
How
not
many
talking
months?
about how long you harassed me for this product.
Yeah. We gotta put that as a review. It's his sense of urgency needs some attention. So anyway, we're getting close to the top of the hour. One other topic, Catfish Bash. We're kind of stagnant with, I think, 16 teams. One team is still waiting for some money to come in to make their payment, but I think I've got 16 teams registered. And so get your registration in. Catfish Bash, if you haven't heard, it's a one-day tournament. I like to call Dash for the Cash. Jake's doing a really great job putting that together, and it ebbs and flows. We get a lot of people, we get a little less people. And because it's a series, it's not just a one weekend thing, right?
Yeah.
It goes on. I think we're having 5 tournaments, and then the 6th one is a championship.
Yep.
And there's still more information to come on the championship. Because I think what we're still thinking about doing is it's not just the championship, but there's going to be an open class as well.
Right.
So even though you didn't make the championship, you can still fish that December tournament in an open class of its own. Some of the details around that need to be worked out. But we are thinking about just opening that up to where everybody can fish. It's just a matter of how we do weigh-ins and things like that. But with little details to be worked out, but we are trying to open it.
We got to put some weight back on the board after missing the last one. So.
This is true. Well, you don't have to put a whole lot of weight. I think the winning team, how much poundage?
60, like 66 or something like that?
No.
What is it?
For Mendocino?
Oh, no.
It was like
Mendocino.
6 pounds.
Mendocino, yes. Mendocino, yes.
16.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so.
I thought you were talking the
no,
standings for the final.
If you missed Mendocino, it probably didn't hurt you that much.
Yeah.
So.
But still.
Anyway.
I'm still out of that top 10. So.
Yeah.
Got to get some weight.
So if you haven't checked out the Catfish Bash, go to their Facebook page, go click on the link to register, get your money in, and we'd like to get 40 boats. That would be amazing.
That would be an awesome thing.
But Jake's working real hard, and Richard's involved in that too. So
I don't know if Warren's going to be able to make that one, right?
I don't know. Warren
won that first one, so I don't know if he should make this one.
Warren won one, and it's like
the
okay.
First one he ever went in, and he won it. So yeah.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
No, Warren's a great fisherman. He fishes all kinds of species, and so I was glad to have him part of this. And Ben, Bar S, those guys
Yeah.
are new to the scene. I'm glad to have them. A lot of new teams coming to the bash, and we
Yep.
really welcome them with open arms. So appreciate you guys, and
It'd be really nice when we start seeing teams coming from out of state.
I think there's a lot of debate about what it's gonna take to make that happen. A lot of people are saying, it's gotta be a big purse, a big money grab.
It's gonna be a really nice video.
It's gotta be a really nice video. I don't know.
It's coming. It's coming. Watch.
Yeah,
You
I was
watch.
I didn't know
You
Richard's
watch.
still on, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
You
Richard,
watch.
if anyone's gonna make this happen, it's gonna be Richard. So,
You watch.
and Rich, I don't know if we made this official or not, but my role with you guys, did we make that official?
Of course. Yeah.
Of course. So I am part of the board of directors for Richard. Richard's little crew that's going on, and some of those details will be worked out and what that means and where it goes. But I am supporting Richard in whatever he needs, and we'll figure out what that means. So
Very good.
perfect. So guest list next week. I don't know if Matt's still on, but I got Matt from Snag on My Bag and coming on talking about his products and what he's got going. And I know he did a big announcement this last week, and I'm not going to say it here, but I'll wait for next week's podcast to have Matt talk about their venture. And I don't even know all the details myself, but this would be a great place to talk about it. You still here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can talk about your new venture next week?
Yeah. It was an expensive venture, but we did it. So Richard knows
Awesome.
a little bit about it, and a lot of people seen on Facebook, but we'll go into detail next week until we have something to talk about.
Yeah, and that's another name, right? So I keep talking about name dropping, right? You got Richard involved in a bunch of these things. You're seeing them, Matt's name mentioned in a lot, and my name is kind of behind the scenes a little bit, or you're seeing Blue Dream Productions or Old Farts Fishing involved in things. I need to get more involved with the bow fishing thing. But the thing is, you're starting to see a common thread. You're starting to see some people working together, working on their own things, working on some things together. And it's just great how the fishing community can come together and can work, even though you may have differences or you support. I look at the Old Farts Fishing brand of what I do. Is people are like, wait, you're doing stuff with Kevin Brock, and I thought Snag on Baggin was a sponsor, and they do lures, and this does a lure, and you got rods, and I look at Old Farts Fishing is here to support all local small business. That's what we do. There can be competitors, there can be different things, and you all work together. You have different things you do, and you might even do some things that overlap, but that's okay. You work together, and that's kind of what I've been preaching. So, but Matt
Takes a community.
Takes a community, and I'm looking forward to see what Matt's got up his sleeve. I've been with Matt I don't know if because I'm one of the OGs, one of the originals that worked with him, and I'm going to just throw it out there. Go to his website, snagmybag'em.com. Use promo code Stony Stone and get 15% off of whatever you order. Right, Matt? Yep.
Yeah, so Stoney's been with us since we started Catfish about 4 years ago, something like that. I can't remember. So yeah, him and Richard both have been since we started making our product for catfishing, from the development of the prototype to all the way to where we are with the final product.
Yep. So glad to be working with Matt, and he's kind of like my ugly stepbrother. It's all good. It's all good. But we are at the top of the hour, and I appreciate everybody that dialed in tonight with A Minute with Stony Stone. And we're going to wrap this up, and we got Matt next week, and I won't even go over the rest of the guest list because it's just continuing to grow, and we may start doubling up a few of these guys like we did tonight.
Perfect.
And good luck out there on the water. Make sure you go to oldfartsfishing.com. See what we got going on there. All the links to podcasts and all that stuff is there, and links to all of our sponsors. Follow us on Facebook on Old Farts Fishing, Fishing with Stony Stone, and all the 500 million Stony Stone pages that I have, but mainly the fishing ones, Old Farts Fishing.
Driving with Stony Stone. Give Eric some money.
He doesn't even do the driving with Stony Stone. He has Eric do it for him.
Exactly. That's why I said Eric.
Give Eric the money.
We are starting to monetize, so I think Eric's made a whole $1.50 last month.
Nice.
$3.25.
Well, I still get my cut.
Podcast.
Yeah.
We're
Hey,
growing.
don't forget to follow Facebook page Sift.
Oh yeah, you got to forget
we're
standard
trying to get that
issue
going.
fishing team.
Yep. And just everybody stay safe and be smart out there on the water.
Absolutely. Thanks again. See you guys next week, and that's it. Peace out.
Fade to black.
Don't do that no more.